long is coming up next. We have a little trio of bracelets. I know we had these earlier, so it's just going to be a quick special in case you missed it. There's not a lot of this left, but they're so pretty. And it's a set of 3 bracelets. So one grouping features African amethyst, black spinel, and labradorite. And the second grouping features Amazonite, moonstone, and colors of beryl, which incorporate aquamarine, the pink beryl, which is morganite, the yellow beryl that is heliodor, and the white beryl that is goshenite. So you get all 4 colors of beryl, the white beautiful moonstone, and Amazonite. 3 bracelets, $69.98. And then in this group, of course, we had the labradorite, the black spinel, and the African amethyst. And that's $658,900. They are new today, super pretty. 2 payments of $39.99. These are what are called stretch bracelets. They are on a jeweler's elastic, so they're very sturdy. First of all, this elastic is something that is going to hold up. It provides lots of comfort, ease of wear, and also note the amount of silver. Silver stations all the way around those, so there's a lot of silver.
Very generous with the silver stations, and they're not hollow. They're filled stations, made in Turkey as well. So that has some good value to it because of that. And so are the gemstones. The gemstones are quality 6mm gemstones, all of them. Nothing that was skimmed on.
There we go, and that's $658,900 if you're thinking about getting new bracelets for your wardrobe today. There's something about bead bracelets that I think a lot of us love and kind of gravitate toward. They're easy to wear, they're easy to stack. What makes this different from other bead bracelets, really, I have to be honest, is the amount of sterling silver.
Yes.
There's a lot of silver here, and not to mention the fact that if you're doing the lighter group, it's very unusual to get all those colors of beryl in one bracelet, which is special. And then, of course, mixed with the moonstone that is more of a milky moonstone. It's not that real iridescent rainbow moonstone. It's like a milky white moonstone. And then the Amazonite has many different shades of blue. And then, of course, these are really classic, easy colors to wear. The amethyst, the black spinel that's also faceted, and the labradorite. All right, $68.98. That's $658,900 if you'd like to pick that up. And then also available, told you we're going to move fast here.